so excited to introduce this next panel, which is all about what it takes to go from being a hairstylist or a makeup artist and having a really successful career in that space to then becoming an entrepreneur and introducing your own brand or working with a big brand, because that is a whole different thing. So on that note, I would love to introduce Mara Roszak, founder of Roz Hair, celebrity hairstylist, entrepreneur now. Etienne Ortega, founder of Ortega, newly launched makeup brand. You'll have to fill us in on the exact date of that. And Nick Faulkner, also known as Lipstick Nick, Senior Director of Artistry and Events at E.L.F. Beauty.
Hello.
Good morning, everybody.
Hello, thank you guys for being here.
Good morning, bright and early.
Yeah, first panel of the day, let's go. So Mara and Etienne, I'm gonna start with one for the two of you. Each of you founded a brand based on your own expertise and your own careers working with celebrities. I can't wait for the name drops, bring them on. And I have noticed, in my reporting, expert-founded brands are really resonating with consumers these days. How and why do you think that your backgrounds have sort of lent themselves to your success in bringing brands to market?
Yeah, so hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here, and thank you so much for having me. I am so excited and so happy that we're celebrating artistry. I've been doing hair on celebrities mainly. I also have a salon here in West Hollywood called Mare, but I've been doing hair for over 20 years. And so I live and breathe it. It is my passion, it is my soul, it is the thing that I love. And through 20 years of doing this one thing, I've learned a few things, and I get to pour that now into the brand and creating hair products and formulations and feel and touch. And so absolutely, from those years of seeing thousands and thousands of predominantly women in my chair, I know exactly what I'm looking for from a product perspective, from an education perspective, and what people are struggling with and how to then interpret that into formulations, packaging, etc.
Amazing. Etienne, what do you think?
Hello, everybody. How's it going? For me, it's always been about the art. It's always been about the artistry. I've been very inspired since I was a very young kid through music, through pop icons, glamour, and 17 years later into this career, I've got to do and work with so many amazing women and got to do things that I only dreamt of when I was a little kid.
I'm on name drop.
A lot of. I'm too humble.
Give us a couple. He's real humble, but the people want to know.
I work with Christina, who was like my dream as a kid. I just always wanted to work with her, and she inspired me. And with the Mariahs, with the Demis, with the Lanas, I get to work with them. But 17 years into my career, I just felt like I had to think about the next chapter of who I am as an artist. Because it's very consuming going around the world chasing these girls and being on jobs, as you guys both know. So this was kind of my idea for the next chapter of who Etienne Ortega was. And I've always been very passionate about products, and I'm inspired by so many different brands. And it is a very saturated market. However, I feel like I've gained my own following and my own identity. And I'm just really excited to share that next chapter through product with the world, instilling confidence and glamour and just art.
Yeah, I think you guys have earned the reputation that people want to hear from you. And I think that's such a big part of why we're seeing expert-founded brands resonate so strongly. Nick, you have a huge following, which you started growing at a really young age. And I think it's really clear that you could kind of work with lots of brands and sort of, I don't know, spread your wings in that kind of way. But instead you have this title with E.L.F, I said it already, but Senior Director of Artistry and Events. And you've chosen to work with one brand. Why did you want to focus in on that way and take on this role?
I think for me, growing up, I've been a makeup artist for almost 15 years, just strictly behind the scenes. And for me, I wanted to, if I'm gonna align myself with a brand in this big of a way, I look for three things. I look for excitement. Is there excitement in the industry for this brand? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We can all agree, right? Okay. So I'm like, okay, check. Innovation and quality. Is this exciting because it's gimmicky, or is it exciting because it's actually good quality products? Check. Third thing for me is accessibility. I'm a huge believer, even when I teach, when I mentor, I really believe it's not what you are using, but how you use it. And so for me, having products that are accessible and affordable for everyone, so everyone can get in on the fun and have fun with it, is a huge thing. So once all those boxes were checked, it was pretty easy. I was actually interviewing for two roles, this role with two different brands. It was head to head last fall, and the interview process was about 2 months. And I was actually in Colombia at the time filming Drag Race, because I also work on RuPaul's Drag Race. Just, one of my 13 jobs, but in my free time. So anyway, I was there in Colombia, like trying to find times to interview, and it was just so clear because there was, it was funny because in your heart, when you're between two things, right? You're like, you kind of know what you want to pick. You know which one feels more you. And when I initially agreed and everything, I was just beside myself. I was like, I know I made the right decision. This is so perfect. And then they sent me a care package, welcome to the team. We're so excited. And they sent me a bunch of stickers, for your Hydro Flask or for your computer or whatever, right? And one of the stickers, which one of our brand ethos, what makes us is bold, kind and bold. It was with a kind heart, bold with a kind heart. And there's a sticker that says that, bold but kind. And I was like, yes, that is so me. That is how I see myself. And it just felt like the brand was aligning so well and organically with who I am as a person. So I think that's what made me really latch on. And I'm like, okay, I'm in it. And when I'm in this, I'm in it. I'm very loyal as a person. So it naturally just goes through to my work life and wherever I'm at.
I love that. What's your sign?
I'm a Gemini.
Okay. Just had to check, right?
I'm always doing 20 things at a time.
Mara and Etienne, another one for you. I feel like social media has been such a game changer for artists. You're able to, show that look on Lana right away, show Emma Stone's red carpet hairstyle. If they're not going to name drop, I'm going to name drop for them. How has social media helped each of you grow your brand? To what extent do you feel like that platform has been necessary to your growth, and even the ability to not only grow your careers, but to sort of give your brands a jumping off point?
Yeah, social media, as we all know, is the biggest platform now of everything, really. But I think for me, it's been really important, really helpful. When I started, I was still in the old school mentality where I felt like I had to have an actual book and print your covers or save that and then go to agents' offices and show them. Now you could do all of it on your social media, which is great. So times have changed, but I caught on to the Instagram thing really quickly when I was starting working with just influencers at the time. I don't think we even called them influencers. It was just models and stuff. And I remember being posted one day by a girl named Jessica Burciaga when I did her glam. And I remember getting 9,000 followers that same day. And I was like, wow. What the hell? I was like, is something going on with my Instagram? Because I would only use it for the filters. I don't know if you guys remember, but I was like, I love the filters. So I caught onto it right away. Kept working on it, started to post every single client, whether it was a model or just my mom or whoever. And eventually, you know, I think that led me into like people like Kim Kardashian finding me on Instagram, and I've said this story a few times, but that changed my life. You know, her finding me on there through that platform, just it kept showing me ways to grow. And now having a brand and stuff, it's so important to have, you know. So you could be your own social media director and like really open up your own doors in that way through social media. So yeah, it's very, very important.
Amazing. Are you mostly posting on Instagram?
TikTok, Instagram, the whole thing,
You've
Facebook.
diversified your portfolio, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Mara, how about you?
Yes, so I work mainly with actresses, and sometimes it's a little different. You know, I'll name drop now because I work with actresses like Emma Stone and Natalie Portman and Zoe Saldana. And gosh, you probably know more than better than I do. If I've missed anyone,
The Haim sisters
The
we
Haim
were talking about the other day. I thought that
Yes,
one was
yes.
really cool.
and worked with women like Cara Delevingne for years. And so there's sort of a variation, a mix, but like an Emma Stone doesn't have social media, for instance. She kind of came up at a time just before Instagram really took off. And so there's a mix there where, you know, if I do post a picture of Emma, sometimes it's, you know, a fun opportunity for her to feel like she can be a part of it without actually having to do it and feel the pressure of doing it. And so I think then followers are looking to myself and her makeup artist or her stylist to kind of see these images of her online. But then like a Cara Delevingne, for instance, obviously has an insane following. And so it's different, but I would say with actresses, it's definitely a navigation, and privacy is obviously key. And so it's sort of coming from a slightly different perspective and not necessarily documenting every moment behind the scenes. And so it's definitely a balance for me and an important piece, but it's been incredible with the brand, and there's so much accessibility and availability on the internet, and a way to really showcase your work, the artistry, your beauty of the images you create through photography. And then, of course, when building a brand, you have access to so many people on the internet, and it's amazing visibility.
It's also something that it's kind of occurring to me as we talk. I mean, I knew this obviously, but it's a really unique avenue that you guys have to trial products on quite an interesting audience. Mara, I know you do that. I'd love to hear you talk about that a little bit. Etienne, do you do that as well? Are you like kind of testing out products before they launch on your clients?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my brand, which I think we'll get into later, but it's taken me 5 years to launch it because of different reasons. But I mean, for like the first collection I dropped was like 2 years of like trying it, and I was using it and I was not able to talk about it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have my hairdressing kit, one kit that comes to every single client. Like I said, you know, Michelle Yeoh when she won her Oscar 2 years ago, Emma Stone when she won her Oscar this year, January this year, anyway, March. You know, I have, you know, I work on different types of hair textures, but I have one kit. And so that kit needs to really be able to allow me to do kind of, right, any type of hair on any style on any person at any time. And so I really put my lab samples to the test. I put them in my kit. I bring them to set with me, and, you know, these women, whether they like it or not, are my case studies. And I'll know immediately if a product's just not quite there. And then we've recently started to, and I want to do this more with just, you know, community building and allowing people access to, like voice their thoughts on products early. So giving them access to lab samples, people that follow me, that follow Roz, and really getting feedback that way too before a product launches, which I think is a really great way to not only build momentum, but really get early feedback. Yeah.
We've done some stories about that on Glossy if you guys want to check out stories about community testing. Something for all three of you, what is one of the biggest challenges you're currently facing, whether it's comes to your personal brand, your career, or your actual physical brand? Anyone who wants to take that first is welcome to.
I'll go first. Well, I think there's always challenges in every role, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, just in day-to-day life. But for me, because I am a makeup artist and sort of transitioned into the corporate beauty world, I'm constantly still understanding and learning the corporate structure and the different departments and the hierarchy of things and who do I go to when I have a new idea? Do I talk to product innovation? Do I talk to product development? Do I go to brand? It's all separated, and there's everyone is their own powerhouse team. And I did a previous role like this at Morphe for 6 years as their global artist, and it was much smaller. E.L.F. is a beast. It is like, if I call it like this tarantula, and it's like all the legs are all the hairs are different people, and it's like just this big beast. And I feel like I've tapped into like a few of the major legs, like the creative piece. I work with product development a lot and the events portion, but there's so much else we have going on, like Roblox and like really branching out into the gaming world. So it's like so many things, but for me, I don't know anything about corporate beauty. I'm a makeup artist from Inland Empire. Like, what does that mean, And so this title that I'm in right now would have 100% intimidated me when I was younger. Like, well, I don't know anything about that. I can't be a senior director of anything. What do you mean? So for me, I'm still understanding and learning. But one of the biggest things that I have learned that I'm now preaching is there are so many roles in corporate beauty. You don't have to develop your own brand. If that's what you want to do, go for it. But maybe you guys want to if you love to review products, if that's your thing on TikTok, you would be amazing at product development. You could work for Ortega Beauty one day. You could work for Roz. You could help these brands with your knowledge. So I just think it's important to understand, like, there's so many jobs in this industry that don't require you being the star face of. You can be behind the scenes and get your benefits and your salary and keep it cute. And you can just still do what you love. So for me, yeah, it's just understanding my role and really understanding the business and understanding this brand that I'm in. But I oversee because E.L.F. Beauty is like the portfolio. So we have Alicia Keys' brand. We have E.L.F. Skin, E.L.F. of course, and Well People. So I'm overseeing all of them. So it's a lot. And I'm only on month 6. And it feels like 6 years.
Two things real quick. One, can you just real quick help us understand, Senior Director of Artistry and Events, like what should we know that means? Just like the quick and dirty version.
Oh, God, I love this question. Quick and dirty. So essentially, and this is another cool part, is that I'm having like one-on-one conversations with our CEO, and he's like ears open listening to me because I'm bringing a new perspective, right? So they want our expertise in these brands. That's what I'll say. So basically, I'm the connector to the community. I'm overseeing all of our photo shoots, designing all the looks, working with the creative team on all the fun ads you guys are seeing, like Judge Beauty, the Super Bowl stuff, like heavily integrated, working with our creative marketing team. So essentially designing all the looks. Anytime we have an event, a pop-up, we just had something in Brooklyn yesterday. Like, there's pop-ups all the time. So I'm handling the staffing. I'm organizing all the makeup artists that are working there, keeping that roster going. We have photo shoots in town. If I can't do it, then I'm sending my E.L.F. kit to an artist. And basically just all of the shoots, all of the marketing, all of the events. And then, for example, like, we're expanding into new markets, which is really exciting. So I will be in 2 different countries and 2 different states within 2 weeks. And that starts next week. So all the travel. So on set, getting in there and like really being the voice of the brand when everybody can't be there, right? So yeah, just a few things.
No, No big deal. No big deal.
Just a few things.
And product development, hello, huge portion, testing all the products. I get sent everything. We all give our feedback. We have like a cool internal system that we use for that. But yeah, developing new products, expanding shade ranges. When I came in, it was like, okay, I have a lot of notes on things. We make great products, but the shade range needs to be tweaked. We need to add 4 more colors to this lip gloss line, like the lip liners, like whatever. So just being the pro artistry expert within the brand.
Cool. Can't wait to ask you 97 questions later. Okay. I mean, that one of my other questions for you was like, how has your role changed from when you were at Morphe to E.L.F? Anything you want to add there? Or
Well, Morphe was my first experience ever with a corporate brand and like being with the structure, but I was with Morphe like grassroots, like with the founders at trade shows before they had investors. So I was just like happy to be making some weekend money at trade shows. Like, cool, $200 a day to sell some brushes at IMATs. I'm like, I'm at the Morphe booth. This is so fun. But then they started growing. And that was when like the rise of, Instagram and everything. So it was cool to like ride that wave with them and like grow with them. And then when they got investors, it was like, oh, now we're going to make an official role for you. We want you to come on full time. I'm like, okay, never done that before. I don't know if I could do that. And, understanding the corporate lingo, which I hate, but I love at the same time. It's kind of funny. But yeah, so I think that was my first experience being with a corporate structure. So my role over time has changed naturally because now I understand it. And now I get the areas that I want to help with. I do want to be involved in the marketing. I do want to be involved in the product development and the product innovation. What are some cool ways we can come out with products, some different types of ways it's dispersed or, anything like that. So, which before I just thought product development is like 2 people and they're just like making it in a Petri dish or something, like, I don't really know. So it's been cool to like fully understand all of the inner workings of the brand and then decide what I like to do. And events, I love to do the event portion. Like I'm happy to be face of on the ground. We just did Indy 500, which was amazing. We sponsored the only female driver. We're the first beauty brand to ever be at the Indy 500. It was so sick. And I was right there. I had a team of 7. I had to source 7 makeup artists in Indianapolis. I didn't have any, so I had to use my social network to find them, and they were amazing. But yeah, I think just Morphe was such an amazing stepping stone, which like...
You've scaled up.
Yes. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, challenges, Mara.
Where do I begin? I think to your point, you don't have to start your own brand to be entrepreneurial. It's a hard word to say. To want to grow, to want to be creative, but you can if you want to. But it is not for the faint of heart. No job is too small. I will be at the lab troubleshooting an issue with a formulation to going to, Neiman Marcus and doing a couple cute old lady blowouts to, whatever it takes to bring the vision, to bring the Rose message, to highlight it, to bring it to life. And the founder job is, all encompassing. And I think it's beautiful but you truly have to feel it deep in your bones. There has to be something sort of greater than you driving the drive, driving the need, and driving the daily desire to create. It's like willing something into life every single day. It takes deep passion and overall crazy level of determination where you have to have this thing exist. And so, and I say that because there are all the challenges, and anything that can go wrong likely will, but you just are on your feet ready to solve the next, challenge, right? And there are challenges, and you learn from each one, and you grow from each one. But there is often something to work out.
Yeah, a lot of troubleshooting. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, do you guys have time? Because it's going to be... No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of challenges. When I first thought about building a brand, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna do it, and I'll do this. I thought it was gonna be super easy until I actually started, and having conversations with potential investors, signing on with investors, then it not working out a few different times, to then finally deciding to do it on my own with one of my friends, self-funded, putting on every hat you could think of, not just like a makeup artist, but like a creative, a product development person, a social media person. And there is challenges every day, every single morning. Like, I'm on the phone, and as the brand starts to grow, there's more opportunities, but those opportunities come with like so many things that I had no idea about, like that I was gonna be learning. And it's all has been great, but it's definitely, if you want to launch your own brand or anything, like just, do your research really well. And it's not going to be easy, but it has been very, very rewarding. Even though it's taken 5 years for me to launch it, now I get to see it out there and share, just who I am with the world through beauty, through makeup, through art. And I'm excited to see how far we could go with this.
No, that must feel so rewarding once you have that physical product, whether you developed it or whether it's your brand or whatever. Before I let you guys go, if knowing that there are people in our audience today who are thinking about, their next moves, I think, Nick, it's a conversation for another day, but I was thinking about when you said, the thing about like having insurance and, how like, I think there can be like a burnout that happens to not all, but some content creators. And some of these people might be thinking about whether it's a collaboration or a full brand of their own, like what would be sort of your parting words of advice to those who are looking to do that, whether it's working with a massive brand like E.L.F. or starting something on their own, bootstrapping it, getting investment, however they choose to go about it. You guys can keep it quick because we're almost out of time, but just, your words of wisdom, each of you, because I know you have a lot of them.
I can start, sure. I'm looking at a room of mostly women and definitely some men, and I think it's, as a human being, we are not taught from a very early age to trust our gut. And the truth is that I never knew the value of trusting my gut. I would say, as a creative, which probably most of us are, professionals as well, but I think creatives in our core, especially creatives, I think we're really deep feelers and have really great intuition and really great instincts. And so trusting those when you're in a conversation with someone, take your time to get to know that person, if it's a collaboration or if it's a team member or if it's a partner. Trust your gut. It's telling you something, and lean into that and take the time and do the due diligence to really get to know the person you're going into business with or the team member you're thinking about bringing on. It tells you a lot more than I think any of us really value.
I would say to think outside the box. And you don't have to just be an influencer or a makeup artist or a brand owner. Like, there's so many other avenues you can do that are still in the beauty space. You can still stay in that world. Maybe if you're doing your own brand deals already, you already have experience negotiating. You could go into management. You could work for agencies that represent makeup artists or other influencers and work out their brand deals and take a cut and do that more low-key on the side. There's like so many things you can do. Again, the product development thing, I'm just really passionate about getting in more diversity and more women into the corporate beauty space. So just want everyone to kind of like, what do you love about what you do? And then how could that apply to other things and working for these brands that you love so much? But that would be my biggest parting word. Just keep your brains open, your minds open, and think outside the box of just what you think are the main jobs that you could do with your talent.
Amazing advice. I agree with both of them. I think for me, as cliche as it sounds, it's just always been to like never give up just on yourself, on your dreams. I think everyone here is doing something different, I assume. But I think like for me, I try to talk myself out of doing this like a lot, even like months prior to launching. I was like, oh, I just don't want to do this anymore. Like, because it got really hard. But ultimately, I realized my patterns in life have always been just to, you know, to rise above and do what I got to do. And yeah, so just don't give up on yourselves. If you have a vision, don't let anybody stop you from it, or, you know, whatever it is, just do your thing, keep working, and just take care of yourselves. Because I think that's the most important thing at the end of the day, is like your health. And if I'm not healthy, I cannot put on the, 100 hats that I do now. So take care of yourselves.
All of that was amazing. I will be transcribing that and putting all of that advice on my wall. I need to live by all of that. Thank you guys so much for an amazing start to the day.
Thank you.